So these guys seem to be feeling much better. They're all very active. Obviously still some sneezing, but they seem much more active and alert. Nobody seems to be in distress. They've only been on antibiotics for a couple days, but definitely seeing some improvement. Hopefully I'll continue to see it. Getting medication into all 7 of them is quite a fun experiment in wrangling rats. This is kind of what my little setup here. I've got my medication, my little, what's the word, thing to measure it out. I've got my spoon and my malt paste that they all love. It's mostly just a matter of trying to keep them all in there so I don't lose track of who's already had some, but also keep the others away from the one I'm trying to give the medication to so that no one gets more medication than they should and no one gets less medication than they should. It's a lot. I'm gonna see if I can film it. We'll see. You can kind of pinpoint the moment that I lost control of that. It kind of comes down to trouble. He just, it's like he's just so suspicious. The second he thinks that like he sees me trying to catch the others or anything like that, he's like, no. And he's immediately suspicious of anything I do. And so it's so hard to get him to take it, even though he loves the malt paste, same as the rest. Putting it in front of his face on a spoon when I've been grabbing at the others. He's just suspicious, so I'm not entirely sure if he got his dose. He would not take it. The others were going insane. So I put it on something other than the spoon and put it where he was, but I'm a little worried that he didn't eat it. So I may put a couple drops of the medication on like a treat or something and pop it in the cage with him, because I think he went back in the cage, and see if that doesn't get him to take his dose for the day, because he's probably one of the ones that's sneezing the most, so I want to make sure he doesn't miss a dose. But it's chaos, primarily because I'm trying to keep track of who all has had a dose, who all still needs a dose, make sure that no one steals part of somebody's dose. I want to make sure they each get the full dose and they don't, you know, lick off each other's dose or have half their dose stolen by another rat. So it's a lot of like trying to keep track of which rats I've already got done, trying to keep the ones who haven't been medicated yet out or in the cage, so that I can, one, better keep track of them, and two, kind of have better access to them, and leave the ones that don't really like to be picked up and who sometimes won't eat when they're being handled till last, so that they're the last ones in the cage, so I can just give them the medication in the cage, which has been working well. Today was probably the most difficult because Trouble just would not eat it. So he's the only one who I'm not sure got the full dose. So I'm going to probably try another tactic with him in a little bit once he's calmed down. Because the second he feels pursued or like I'm trying to catch him or anything like that, it becomes impossible to get near him. He's just so suspicious. He's fine, like, when I just open the cage and, you know, not trying to catch anybody, just let them all out. He'll come and hang out with me and stuff, but when he thinks I'm... Hi, Corby. When he thinks I'm trying to catch him, can I help you? Can I help you? Hello? Careful. What are you doing? It's Corby. Hey, buddy. I don't know what he wants. Come here. Oh, thank you. Hi, Gray. Hey, fat man. Anyway, so that's been the joys of medication. So I'm going to keep them on the medication for a week, see how they do. If they still aren't better, I may see about extending their treatment. But I want them fully 100%, you know, healthy. I mean, just for the sake of them being healthy, but also before I introduce the new rats in. So I want to make sure they're not going to be exposed to any sickness. And once the main group is healthy and I'm getting to the point where I'm getting ready to introduce the new group, I'll probably do a whole new cage layout, take out everything, give the whole cage a wipe down, so that any germs aren't being spread between the groups, do a deep clean and all that. And it's probably about time for a new layout anyway. And maybe by then I'll have made them some new hammocks, because their hammocks are a mess. They have chewed through huge holes in them, made a huge mess of them, and new ones are expensive, so I've been kind of putting it off. But I got a used sewing machine, and my mom has promised to teach me how to use it so that I can just start making my own. So, hi, Trouble. He's come back out. He's done sulking. He might sulk some more when I go back to trying to get him to take his medication, but oh well, it's for his own good. But yeah, so in the future I'm gonna, hopefully by the time I move the new group in and I'm doing a new layout, I will be able to make them a couple new hammocks. Because some of their hammocks are just kind of like cheap store ones that are like the more plasticky ones that they don't really use much because they're not very comfortable. They really like the more fleecy ones. And of course that's the ones that they've shredded the most. So I'll probably make them, just go buy a bunch of like scrap fabric and make them some more fleecy soft ones. And all that jazz. I might, if it's not difficult, I don't know yet because I don't know, I've never used a sewing machine. I'll see how difficult it is. I'm sure making a flat hammock won't be hard, but I might try to make them like a double-decker hammock or like a tube or something. We'll see. May expand my horizons, because especially at this point, I know they all try to pack into one regular flat hammock together, and it's a bit of a tight squeeze and they can't all fit. So I might try to make them either one giant hammock that they could all possibly fit in together, or just a double-decker or whatever, especially with the addition of 3 new ones. And I also, because I want to try and put more effort into making the layout conducive to litter training, because I just watched recently the Asami Rat Care video on litter training, her version of litter training, which is essentially just set up the cage so that it's so easy for them to use the litter box that they do, because I think these boys are by nature pretty lazy, and the place that they go to the bathroom the most, see if I can show you, is where they've decimated their hammock, because they like to lay in this hammock here, and they have this big old hole in it, and then this is the bin that they usually use as their bathroom. So clearly they just want to not get out of the hammock, so I'm going to try and redo my layout to kind of cater to that, in hopes that I can get them a little better litter trained. I did get some yesterday's news on sale the other day, so I might try switching out the bins for that as well. The other thing, I have a bin, I don't know if you can see it, it's way back in this corner, this green one, that they also use, but it's a really bad layout for me because there's so many sticks and stuff in front of it. I cannot get to it to clean it out regularly, so that's bad design as well. So doing a new layout. I have a few new ropes. I don't really have new hides or anything. I could maybe make them something out of popsicle sticks, but I don't have, I just mostly just have new rope. So I'll probably just change the layout of everything and clean everything up and go from there. But I think I'm going to get a piece of food and put another dose of medicine on it for trouble and see if I can't get him to take his meds, because he's probably the one that's the most sneezy still. So he needs them. I won't have him skipping doses. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll give you guys another update soon. Bye.